So you want to lose weight, right? Well, so does almost every other person in America, it seems, but very few are able to lose it, and even fewer are able to keep it off. Now, that's not my story. My name is Tiffany. I have lost over 200 pounds totally naturally. I've been able to keep it off for over 13 years. And today I'm going to share with you the top 5 things that I stopped doing in order to help me lose weight. We're going to jump right in and we'll start with number 5. I stopped drinking my calories. Now, before my weight loss journey, I paid no attention to the fact that I was drinking a lot of calories. I really didn't even know that whenever I was drinking my frappuccinos or other fancy coffee drinks, that I was putting away almost 400 to 600 calories per drink. I was just drinking them and thought like, well, it's coffee, whatever, right? I would go out to eat and I would just get refill after refill of soda, just racking up those calories. Our drinking is like a stupid place, honestly, to waste calories because there are so many low or no calorie options out there. Now, I'm not the type of person that says that you should only ever drink water, because I am the type of person who says that in order for you to be able to do anything sustainably, you've got to enjoy it. And the fact is, you're probably not going to just drink water for the rest of your life, right? But there are so many alternatives out there that are low or zero calories where you don't need to spend your calories on your drinks. These days, I love water. I drink a lot of water, but I also drink a lot of things that are not water. I drink Coke Zero, right? I use those kind of like Crystal Light packets and I'll throw them in water. The only calories that I drink nowadays is my coffee creamer, and I measure it. I could get rid of coffee creamer altogether, but again, I love coffee creamer and I love coffee. And that is the only place that I drink my calories, and it's measured. So look at what you're drinking and how many calories are coming in from that, because most of us can drink something, I mean, man, in 30 seconds, and that can put us down, 2 or 300 calories that would take us an hour or 2 hours to burn off in the gym or through fitness of some sort. So the 5th thing I stopped doing was drinking my calories. The 4th thing that I stopped doing was eating out so much. Now, hear me out. I love eating out. Who doesn't, right? Especially, I mean, I'm a mom. When I don't have to cook, it's a good day. Okay. But I'm only saying eating out so much because I still eat out, my family still eats out. But when you start to pay attention to nutrition and calories, you start to realize a few things about eating out. Number one, it's that the calories are just so much higher, right? Because they're cooking with all sorts of things. There's ingredients in there. And I mean, they need to make it taste good and appealing to the masses. And so the calories are just naturally, in general, pretty high. Beyond that, you have very little control and sometimes even little knowledge, even though many restaurants and establishments are getting better about posting the calories. You really don't have a firm grasp on exactly how many calories or what the nutritional content of what you're eating is. So eating out is, it's always risky, but my belief is just that if I know that I'm going to be eating out, we'll say for dinner, then I will just make sure that my breakfast, my snacks, and my lunch are things that are, healthier, things that are maybe lower calorie, lower carb, a little more in control, so that I can budget kind of those extra calories for my dinner. So I'm all about still being able to eat out, but it's just I had to rein in how much I was eating out. Not only was it not smart financially, but it was just very, very hard for me to really control what my nutrition was when I was eating out all of the time. And so that is the 4th thing. That was a big change for me, but I still believe that there are ways to eat out and still do it healthily. I tell my clients, pick your top 5 restaurants and go to the website, pick 2 or 3 things from those restaurants that you know are going to fit within your calorie budget so that you're prepared, because real life is that you're going to eat out sometimes and you just need to be prepared for it. So the 4th thing I did was stop eating out as much and find other ways to get my nutrition. The 3rd thing that I did was I stopped rewarding myself with food. Okay, in the past, whenever I would have a long week, Friday would come and I'm like, oh, it's Friday. It's been a long week. It's been crazy. I just want to go out to eat and just eat whatever I want, right? Or it's been a really stressful time. Let's go to, the buffet, or let's go get froyo. Or man, I made this like accomplishment. I finished something. Let's go celebrate. Let's go out for ice cream, or let's go out for pizza. I was always looking for really opportunities to celebrate and to reward myself through food. Food was the first thing that I thought of when I'd had a stressful day or stressful week of how I wanted to relax. Let me go get this pizza. Let me get this chips and dips, sit down in front of the TV and just veg out. And I had to start to learn new ways to reward myself, new ways to relax, new ways to de-stress. So I stopped doing that and I started doing things like, okay, maybe if I, accomplish something, maybe a reward is a new pair of shoes, or maybe a reward is a pedicure, or maybe a reward is being able to spend a night at a hotel by myself. And all the moms of young children said, amen, right? So those are the things that I look to reward myself with now. Now, as far as like de-stressing or just kind of like vegging out, there are many other ways to do that, whether that is, watching your favorite show or taking a nap, right? Or going for a walk or meeting a friend, for a walk, or meeting a friend for coffee or something like that, but doing it in a controlled way. I had to stop just focusing on food as being a reward or food as a way to celebrate, and really say, okay, I'm going to expand my thinking in what are some other ways that I can, feel pampered, feel relaxed, feel rewarded. And it took me a minute, but I eventually figured out other ways that I felt rewarded. And that is so valuable, not only to model as a parent, but also just to live. Because if you can fast forward your thinking a little bit, and instead of thinking, okay, I'm going to reward myself with going out and getting this, large ice cream, or large pizza or whatever, if you just fast forward a little bit and say, okay, yeah, it's Friday night and I think I'm going to feel better if I have that, but let me just go ahead and fast forward to how I'm going to feel when I wake up on Saturday morning. Am I really going to feel more relaxed? Am I really going to feel less stressed? Am I really going to feel better about my life? No, I'm not. I'm going to feel, actually like down and probably stressed and discouraged because of the decision that I made Friday night. And now I'm having to feel like I'm digging myself out of a hole or trying to pull myself onto some wagon, back on the wagon of trying to meet my health goals. So the third thing I stopped doing was stopping rewarding myself with food. The second thing I stopped doing was I stopped thinking like an 8-year-old when it came to food. Now, I have 4 kids and I've had 8-year-olds before. And, even if you don't have kids, 8-year-olds, and they are not really thinking through their nutritional choices, right? They're looking at something and they're like, oh yeah, that candy bar looks good. I'll take that. Oh yeah, I like pizza. I'll take that. Oh, there's still more pizza left. Okay, I'll take another one. Later on in the day, we want to go out for ice cream? Sure. Right? There's no thinking, right? An 8-year-old is just like, yeah, if this looks good and I like it, then I'm going to eat it. They're not thinking through, am I actually full? They're not thinking through, what else have I had to eat today? They're not thinking through, any of those things of, do I have goals? Are these things that I'm eating going to help me reach these goals, right? 8-year-olds are just thinking and living by the seat of their pants, thinking about, how am I feeling in this moment? Most of them are not saying, hey, I want to wake up early in the morning and I want to exercise, even though maybe I don't really feel like it, but I know it's good for me, right? So we see so many times that we can't continue to live in our adult life with an 8-year-old mindset in terms of, we'll say, finances, right? An 8-year-old, if they want it and they have the money, it's burning a hole in their pocket and they just want to spend it. They're not thinking about, well, what is a smart financial decision? What are some other things that I need to be saving for? Is this wise? Because they're 8 and they don't have to. But a lot of times, we get that in other areas of our lives, but a lot of times we don't get that in terms of food, that we're still making decisions with our nutrition as if we are in elementary school, as opposed to, okay, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to put my big girl, my big boy pants on, and I'm going to say, is this food actually helping me reach my goals? Is it going to get me where I want to go? And is it wise eating this donut for breakfast, knowing that later on I'm meeting my family for pizza, right? Just actually saying, I need to grow up a little bit in my thinking. I need to be wise. I need to practice balance, right? I need to practice being intentional and aware. Honestly, most of weight loss is not rocket science. I know I shouldn't, share this with you as someone who is a coach and, makes money from coaching people through their weight loss journeys, but I will, that there's really no great grand secret to weight loss. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not a lot of hoops to jump through and a lot of things to learn and examine and all of that, but it's really pretty simple. It is about practicing balance. It is about practicing wisdom and intentionality, just like every other area of our lives, from our marriage to our education, finances, food, nutrition, fitness, it's all the same. So the second thing I stopped doing was approaching nutrition and health like an 8-year-old and actually beginning to track my food. Be intentional with what I'm eating. Be aware of what else have I eaten today? What else have I eaten this week so that I can make wise choices? What are my goals? And I'm going to set some mini goals in place to help me get there. And I'm going to put some parameters in place so that I can gauge, is the way that I'm eating and the way that I'm moving my body, is that going to lead me to where I want to go? So growing up a little bit, stop living like an 8-year-old was definitely the second thing that I did to help me achieve my weight loss goals and then keep them there. And the final and last thing I did is pause. Wait, do you want to hear? You should probably hit that subscribe button. If you like information like this, hit it now so that you can stay up to date on all these proven weight loss truths that I like to share. Sorry, I know that was mean. Okay, the number one thing that I did that I stopped doing per se in order to help me reach my weight loss goals was I stopped letting fear control me. Most of us probably don't think that we're controlled by fear, but I think that's probably because we generally don't put ourselves in situations that we don't like or that we feel uncomfortable with or that we're afraid of, because most of us are under this sort of false understanding that we actually have control over the majority of our lives. And to an extent, I guess there's truth to that. But in general, I don't think we would realize how afraid we are and how much fear is controlling us until someone else gets some control of our lives and until someone else has to say, I want you to try this new thing that you wouldn't have tried on your own. And when I weighed 352 pounds, fear absolutely controlled me and prohibited me from taking steps that would help me lose weight. I was terrified to go into the gym. I didn't know, how to use any of the machines. I didn't even own workout clothes. I didn't even own socks. I definitely didn't own tennis shoes. I thought, I was so afraid of what people were going to think of me when I walked in there. I just felt like I am going to look like I do not belong in here. And so fear kept me from going into the gym to try to make a change in my life because I was so afraid of just failing, people's judgment, all of those things. Fear kept me from making a change nutritionally in my life for a good period of time because I thought, what if people, like my friends and family, what if I tell them I'm going to make this change in my life and then, they see me doing well and then what if I relapse? Or what if I eat something that they think isn't healthy for me, even though maybe it's on my plan? And I was just so afraid of what if people see me try and then see me fail. Man, that would be even worse than if I just lived fat in the first place, right? So I was afraid of what people around me would think if they saw me even try to make a change in my health. Fear really kept me from doing so many things. The area of fitness and nutrition were uncharted territory for me. And so that's never comfortable to just kind of throw yourself into that sort of thing. Even though maybe your current situation is uncomfortable, sometimes it's more comfortable to stay in your current situation that you don't really like than it is to force yourself to go into a new situation that's totally unknown. So I had to stop letting fear control me. And although that sounds very hard and very scary, it actually became like a drug to me. It really did. Just this, every time I would find and face something that I was afraid to do, maybe it's, I don't think I can do 5 minutes on the elliptical, or I don't think I can train for a 5K, or I don't think I can tell myself, no, I'm not going to have ice cream tonight because I already had ice cream earlier this week. I would face those things and I would just do them. And afterwards I would see that I survived. Everything was fine and I'm actually okay. And I can actually make myself do hard things and I can actually make myself do things that I'm afraid of. And that feeling of freedom that came from not letting fear hold me back, hold me down, became addicting. And I just began to, and that's what I've been doing for literally the last, 16 years since I started this journey, was just taking one step after the other of things that I'm afraid of, things that I don't think I can do. And with every step, I prove to myself over and over again that I'm stronger than I thought I was, that I'm more capable than I thought I was. And I'm proving to fear that it will not have the final word in my life. I have this phrase that I go by and I've heard others say before, do it afraid. Do it afraid. It's okay if you're afraid. Fear doesn't mean, it's not that red flag of don't do it. You're afraid. Sit back down. No, it's okay. I am afraid. I feel the fear, but if I have to, I'll just do it afraid. And so that is what I did back then. That's what I still do now. Of course, the tasks have changed, the challenges have changed, but the process is still very much the same. The leap of faith that it takes is very much still the same. So those are the top 5 things that I stopped doing in order to help me lose 200 pounds and live with it sustainably, for the past 13 years. And I hope those are helpful to you. If information like this is helpful to you, I highly recommend that you hit that subscribe button. But I also highly recommend that you check out my course, the 4-week intensive. It's really where I share everything that I learned and implemented and have tried out and done over the last 13 years to help me lose that 200 pounds. Or if you feel like, I really need some more one-on-one, attention. I need someone to help me walk through these things of what am I afraid of? And, why am I eating like an 8-year-old? And how do I start to, grow up a little bit? I would be more than happy to help you. I would highly recommend applying to that soon. It's called The Collective. A space is limited, but go ahead to my website, www.confidencecurrency.co, not .com, and check out all that I have to offer. Thanks.